The high adrenaline world of the NBA is filled with great players who have achieved so much fame they are known by basketball fans and non-fans alike. And one thing many have is a pre-game ritual to keep them motivated on the court. Want to know more about the strange rituals NBA players do? Keep watching for more details. Let's begin. First up, NBA's strange pre-game rituals. The world of sports is extremely high pressure and can very easily lead players to bad sorts if they do not take good care of their health and be careful with regulating themselves and what they engage in. And it is easy to see why. With the eyes of everyone watching every mistake you may or may not make, it's easy to be out of your wits. This is why the tradition of pre-game rituals is so common. Imagine standing in front of the class every week for a presentation and being told each one counts towards your final grade. With probably no sport attracting quite as much attention from around the world as much as the NBA, it's easy to get nervous. The NBA has produced several internationally recognized star players, and many had some pretty strange pre-game rituals. Pre-game rituals serve two purposes. One, they started as a sort of superstition for players who did something before winning a game and believe that they cannot win without their ritual. This is also psychologically relevant, as believing something will make you play better will actually lead you to being more motivated and focused, sort of like calming rituals. Second, they can be just for publicity and hyping up the crowd. Since the NFL attracts so many viewers both in person and on the TV, it is normal for players to cater to their fans and increase the overall energy of the game. Whatever the reason, these rituals become something of a brand for the players. Michael Jordan's famed chalk throws. Michael Jordan is a certified NBA legend, described on their site as the greatest basketball player of all time, who played with the Chicago Bulls for most of his career. He is one of the reasons why the NBA is so internationally famous right now, and part of it is his famous pre-game ritual. His trademark ritual was the chalk toss, where he would grab a handful of chalk and toss it at the broadcasters seated at the site when entering the arena. Over time, this became something of a joke between him and the broadcasters, as they wore doctor's masks, umbrellas, and even gas masks to keep the chalk from getting into their body. While it may not have been the weirdest, it served its purpose and has been replicated by many other players. In particular, it was taken up by LeBron James, who put his own spin on it by throwing the chalk into the air to hype up the fans. Next, we have Charles Oakley and Spike Lee's ball toss. Charles Oakley is a pretty well-known basketball player who often ranked as one of the best rebounders during his time in the NBA. And when he was playing with the New York Knicks, he developed a strange little ritual with Spike Lee. The famous director was a well-known fan of the team and often attended their games, and before each one started, Charles would toss him the ball. After carefully inspecting it, Spike Lee would then toss it back to Oakley before the game started. While not exactly weird, it is a pretty well-loved scene, and fans love seeing the two interact. Shaquille O'Neal's Alley Shaq. Shaquille O'Neal is no stranger to the game, leading one of the Los Angeles Lakers' great eras with Kobe Bryant, so it's natural that he also has a pre-game ritual that helps him take off the pressure and make him relax. And he was pretty hilarious. Back when he was playing for the Phoenix Suns, he used to do something called the Alley Shack in the locker room with his teammates before every game. All he did was roll an imaginary bowling ball towards 4 or 5 teammates who would then pretend to roll over. It probably helped the team have a good laugh and relax before the game. He did his famous ritual in 2009 during the All-Star game that comes near the end of the NBA with 6 people in front of the entire audience. Now, on to Jason Terry's weird superstitions. Jason the Jet Terry made a name for himself during his NBA career, winning a championship and a 6th Man of the Year title, but he also had some pretty weird superstitions and rituals. Before each game he played, he would eat some chicken. He also wore knee-high socks and a headband during his games. And while these are normal enough, it's the ritual he did the night before a game that is weird. He would wear the shorts of the team he would be playing against the next day to bed. Kevin Garnett getting his head into the game. Kevin Garnett gave the idiom a whole new and too literal name with his pre-game ritual. Before the start of any game, he would go up to the padded stanchion behind the baseline of the court alone and fix his shorts, and then he would bang his head against it a few times. It was easily one of the weirdest rituals the NBA had ever seen. It probably helped him let loose and uncage the inner beast. Known as the Big Ticket, he was, after all, one of the most emphatic dunkers with unparalleled ability the NBA had ever seen. While some fans worried it would lead to problems, he survived his entire 21 years in the NBA just fine. Next up, Dwayne Wade's basket pull-ups. Kissing the backboard on the rim is a ritual that started by NBA great Vince Carter, who would do so to honor honor his grandmother, but it was adopted by Dwaye to motivate himself before a game. Before the start of a match, he would go up to the net and pull himself up to do 3 pull-ups to represent his number on the Miami Heat, the team he played for most of his career. Keeping with the number 3, he would also chew exactly 3 pieces of gum and drink 3 bottles of Gatorade before every game. Monte Ellis dips his hands into wax. This may come across as slightly weird, but the logic behind it makes it understandable. After he tore a ligament in one of his fingers during a game, he developed the habit of dipping his hand into warm wax and peeling it off once it dried. According to him, the smooth feeling left on his hands helped him handle the ball and dunk better. Whether true or just psychological, it definitely seemed to help him give his best during matches. These sort of calming rituals are commonly known to help people, even in other fields. His ritual is similar to that of the baseball player Moises Alou, who would use a substance to smooth his hands to help him play better. We can't forget Russell Westbrook's weird dances. Russell Westbrook is well known for being the best point guard of the league, now playing for the iconic Los Angeles Lakers, and he has a pretty weird pre-game ritual that serves as both relaxation for him and amusement for fans. Before every match, he would do weird dances and elaborate handshakes with his teammates when on the Oklahoma City Thunder, something his fans ate up. His ritual is similar to what Danny Green did. He used to do the jump around dance, which he took from the show House of Pains, though he did add some of his own moves. He first did it when he won the 2009 championships while playing for UNC. Caron Butler and his caffeine. Caron Butler was well known for not being an easy person to handle, but even his pre-game rituals just made him even more hyperactive. He used to drink several liters of Mountain Dew, and as a result played his games on a sugar and caffeine rush. It got so extreme that his team at the time, the Washington Wizards, had to ban him from it, and then he started chewing on straws, doing so before every match and during every timeout. He claimed he found it more relaxing compared to chewing gum, but this was another habit that got so extreme that the league itself ended up banning it. Finally, we have Mike Bibby's nail clipping habit. Last on our list is a bit of an extreme and weird pre-game ritual, but one that some with the same nervous habit might find relatable. He had a horrible nail-biting habit every time he was nervous or focusing on something. He was often seen chewing on his fingernails, and it made people uncomfortable. But he managed to curb his habit with a stand-in, a nail clipper. He switched to using them and found them to work so well that he would do them before and during games, and even at night. It was a good alternative to a harmful, nervous habit. Every time a timeout came during a match, an assistant would quickly go and give him a pair of nail clippers so that he could focus and give his best in the game. That's a wrap for this video. Which of these habits do you think are the strangest? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.